One thing I love in the springtime is the variety of colors. So we have everything from purples and blues in the distance to browns and grays and vibrant greens. So I love painting scenes like this where I have a little bit of everything. I wanted to work quick and small because it was extremely windy and chilly. We have had beautiful weather this month, but it's spring and the winds can just come out of nowhere and they are usually still pretty icy. One of the fun parts about plein air is that you really learn how to come up with sort of a shorthand version of painting certain things. So, for instance, the trees in this painting are kind of just blocks or blob shapes, but they represent clusters of trees. And then just quick, rough, dry brush strokes on top of the water to represent the rapids. As I was packing up, these kayakers went by, and the bright red against all of the greens and grays really caught my attention. So I caught a couple references and may paint that in the future. So this is how the shoe room looks on during plein air April. We have the ultralight backpacking painting kit. We have the Etcher Slate Mini, which I do more for like watercolor and urban sketching. We have the big setup, which has like my pochade box in it and just like way more supplies for when I'm doing longer sessions. We have the kind of everyday carry thing, which is mostly drawing supplies. This is what I take out when I'm just doing like errands and stuff. And we have a couple random bits like just a loose sketchbook and some other painting supplies. So we're almost halfway through. It's probably gonna get worse. Well, it's raining. I'm at a pretty cool location, and it's just supposed to be sprinkling off and on, so I'm gonna have to stand here with my umbrella covering my area. But I really love this view into the distance with the blue mountains and the green fields in the foreground. Just lots of layers of color. I'm gonna play with that, see how we go. Quick little warm up just to kind of wrap my head around some of the colors that are happening. It's a very intense light all of a sudden. Seeing pops of lime green way off in the distance and some of the dark greens that surround it, and then the very cool, vibrant greens in the foreground. And I keep my little study visible next to the painting, so I can just kind of quickly reference what I did before and learn from it as I go. Mostly just blocking in big areas, big shapes to figure out my composition. I like to stand with my arm fully extended and the brush just barely able to touch the painting, at least for the first couple brush strokes or the first layer even, because then everything stays very loose. Like, it's impossible to do detail when you're like this. And it just lets me see the overall picture a little bit easier and capture that first like color impression. And then I can let that dry or work wet into wet and build up the detail as I go. Okay, I guess I'm gonna call this one. The light is just changing non-stop, so I think doing like quick little impressions like this is more helpful than anything. Really nice out, so I kind of just want to stay and do like a few more of these, but I'm getting such a headache from the light, and I can't wear my sunglasses because it gets dark all of a sudden when the cloud comes over, so it's just like, yeah, I have to like protect myself and probably just call it a day. I might come back to this spot though, because this is such an amazing view for practicing greens, and the fields are going to just keep getting greener and greener this month and next month. And it's a nice protected spot because this stone is like blocking the wind, and it's just, yeah, lovely. So anyways, I am gonna head home, I think, and take some painkillers, and I'll see how it goes tomorrow. As I edit this, we are officially halfway through the month, and I want to say congrats to anyone else who is doing this challenge and made it this far. I'm kind of mentally tired, but I'm also incredibly inspired, and especially when I visit these places that I want to return to for various reasons. For day 15, which was today, I went to a familiar place, which was Fenechti, and I painted a view I've never painted before. It was really fun, and it was such a peaceful setting, but I also felt a lot of pressure because there were huge, dark, ominous clouds rolling in from behind the harbor. So I decided to use the strategy I mentioned before, which was to hold my arm out fully extended with the brush just barely able to reach the painting, which kept me moving really quick. I meant I couldn't focus on any details. I did do a little details closer up at the very end when it came to like the architecture in the distance, but for the most part, I was using very quick, large brush strokes. And a scene like this would usually slightly intimidate me purely because there is so much detail, especially in the area where there were all the buildings on the cliff and overlooking the harbor. I would usually focus a lot of attention on that. But in this case, it actually came together really quickly and also in a way that was kind of surprising. I really enjoy these large brush strokes that kind of melt together and leave a lot to the viewer's imagination. So I think I'm going to play with this strategy a little bit more when it comes to these scenes with quite a bit of architectural detail. But that's it for this video. I will see you again on Saturday for the next round of paintings. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying the videos.